You are listening to Arts on the Air, a bi-weekly-ish interview show dedicated to Savannah, Georgia's artists, musicians, and authors. Each episode will feature a guest in conversation about their philosophy, practice, and current projects, as well as their thoughts on the state of the arts in our community of Savannah. Our theme music is a clip of Summer Nights by the Eric Jones Trio. It's provided by our friend Mark Chesanow, who plays with the Eric Jones Trio every Thursday and Sunday at Good Times Jazz Bar downtown. Hey everyone, welcome to Arts on the Air. This is Tamara Garvey and I have David Laughlin with me.
Hey.
And today we are talking to local painter Logan Artisan. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Great. So happy to have you.
Very happy to have you here.
So happy.
Hi, Mr. Laughlin.
Good day, Logan. Ms. Artisan,
Artisan.
we'll call you officially.
I'm going to read a little bit of your description of your work from your website. Paintings that feel like they are moving and filled with life. Currently, I'm really working on capturing that. Specifically, sharing the beauty of Savannah and the wildlife in this area with others brings me joy, because this is a stunning place to live. A lot of people paint marshes, and I know why. Driving by marshland at sunset is like a dream. What I liked about that is there's a lot of like poo-pooing of people painting local landscapes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
as if it's not a valid thing to do. So I like that you specifically call out like you're doing local landscapes, like because it's very beautiful and it's an interesting thing to paint, and we're artists, and like why wouldn't we want to do that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, people are inspired by what's around them. Like, I drive by something and I'm like, oh, that's pretty, and I take a picture and then I paint it. Now, I could also be real and say that, like, people like to buy paintings of Savannah, and I'm real and I will say that. If a young artist moves to Savannah, will they make more money if they paint Savannah? Yeah. Should they do it? Yeah. Should they do it in their own style? Definitely. And develop that? Definitely. But I would tell any young artist who moved here to paint Savannah. 100%. You'd be missing out on money if you didn't. And
it's why people move here anyways. They come to visit and then they love the buildings and the trees and the landscape. So like, and artists are just like any other person who moves here and loves the look of it. So why wouldn't you paint that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't agree with trying to make art that's so unapproachable, that's like, oh, only artsy people will get it. Well, okay, good for you. You live alone in your tower.
Yeah, I like that your bio on there specifically called out like, yeah, I paint marshland because this is a stunning place to live. I just thought it was a nice way to put it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I like artsy art just to be artsy too. That stuff's really, really cool. Sometimes I make it, like it just depends on what you want to do. I'm always playing with like space, and I think we all are, about like how abstracted do we want it to be, push and pull, I think a lot of us do that, like how loose do we want our brushstrokes to be? Do we want to start messing around with a new color palette, like different just changes that we incorporate, over
the artistic
time.
license
Developments over time.
Over time.
Well.
100%.
Yeah.
And that you add to what you've already done too, I think is important, unless you want to just completely strip away and start with something new. But I've not been doing that. I kind of work with a base of realism, and then I strip and take away and build and try to play with how abstracted can I make realism a little bit. That's what I've been trying to do lately.
I understand that.
Much as possible.
It's because when you get to a point where it stops being something that you're looking at and that you want to project onto the painting, where it starts becoming the painting.
Yeah, well,
And
yeah.
it starts taking on its own little niches of colors that you want to add in and bring
Little
out.
moments.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's easy.
You and I used to talk about that. There's a moment to, like, especially if you're using reference, to step away, and it's painting now.
Yeah.
And appreciate it for that. I do think about
But
that
there's
sometimes.
so many different, of course, you've got a great imagination.
Thank you.
All right.
You do too.
You think I'm setting you up for a joke, aren't you?
I don't know.
Because we know each other too well. No, you do have a great imagination. But what you do is you take what you see, and there are moments that are beautiful, and then there are, what do you call them? Inspirations that aren't part of what you see that are beautiful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, again, I think a lot of it comes back to my love of Impressionism growing up, like just feeling movement, like feeling that
How
energy.
to convey that movement.
Your work looks very impressionistic.
I love it. I love Impressionism very much. I can't say that I'm Impressionism, because Impressionism technically is a time and place that I am not, but I love it. So
I think the soft brushstrokes and just something about the colors that it does look kind of imagined a little bit heightened. But I wanted to bring up, you do landscapes and also buildings downtown, and the edges even of the houses and the buildings are very softened, which is, I feel like, unusual. Most people have like very crisp, clear edges when they're doing architecture, so that's very you.
That is
building.
Something very kind of you to notice, and something that I started doing in college. Funny enough, I had a professor. He was great. He was really great. He taught me two things. Brushstrokes should go all different ways, not just one way. Because, a lot of young artists, they'll have all their brushstrokes be one way. And that changed the way I painted, and it was an oil class. And he also said the lines, because if you think about the human eye, the way that we view things, like, it's not like a sharp edge.
Right.
Like it is blurred to some extent. And it's going to be sharper closer and more blurry further away, of course, so that's stuff to take into account. Yeah. I make the whole thing blurry because, I like a little bit of dreaminess.
It looks gauzy. It literally, it looks like golden hour, like it's a little dappled and sunsetty. And like,
you're sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your colors are awesome too, by the way.
You.
You really can dive into a lot of different colors in your work, I've noticed, which I love.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing it back to me. I appreciate that.
Oh, no, really. I'm a huge fan of both of y'all's work.
The professor you mentioned, is this when you were at SCAD?
Funny enough, no. And I learned some great stuff there too.
Yeah.
But this was at Wingate, my undergrad, which was right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
I studied music there. Specifically, back then I wanted to be an opera singer. And I will bring up,
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, I still sing, and
I'm gonna get you to sing before we're done here.
Oh.
Yeah. But go ahead, but please.
I'm very, 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 very interested in, because I love live performing. I grew up on a stage. I grew up doing theater, and then I got very sick with Lyme disease when I was like 19 years old. And I remember I was interested in art and music equally, but I was studying opera at the time, and
as one does.
And I was so sickly. I was known for sleeping in the hallways after class and stuff. Like, I just was so sick. And doctors, as often happens, sadly, I think with women in healthcare, they're like, "Oh, honey, are you just stressed? What's going?" They didn't listen to me for years. And now
they just think it's tied to your period if you're tired.
Yeah, they'll do that. They thought it was exams, and I'm like, no, because I was a really chill kid. I did not care about exams. And I was like, no, like, I'm having stabbing pains all over my body. I'm tired. And I'm having tingling in my hands and feet. That should have set something off that was neurological. But
yeah.
So now I have the Lyme disease, bacteria can get into your heart or different organs, but it got into my brain. And since that happened, my brain functions pretty well, but if I get stressed, I get stabbing pains all over, and I get kind of I'll start shaking and stuff,
Is this all just tied to you took a walk in the woods one time and it just all stems from that kind of?
I have no idea. And they thought that I maybe had it for 6 years. So I remember having fits of being really tired in high school, and having waking up in the morning and trying to go to school and telling my mom I was really dizzy. Just for years of not feeling right.
Lyme disease is terrifying.
It is
so much.
It's an epidemic.
Be damaged in your body by one tiny little thing.
And I'm scared that so many people don't get tested or know about it. So I'm always happy to do any outreach for it because it's easy to dismiss something.
Yeah. So were you saying? So was your kind of music career doing opera? Was that derailed by?
Well, it was funny because I actually did I got a Scholastic Golden Key art award and did get an art scholarship for school as well, for fine art and for music. So I was already very much interested in both. So fast forward now, I've just been doing art because I decided back then that my body wasn't healthy enough to be an opera singer up at the Met or something.
Okay.
That's cutthroat.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't healthy enough. I knew it.
The lung power you need and everything.
All of
it.
it.
To reach the back of the theater for one thing. Yeah, you've really got to project.
And I can project. It's just the issue is just keeping up. It's you got
stamina.
Yes. When you sing more and more, that's when your voice will start breaking, your body will start breaking down. You're going to practice after practice late at night. Theater life is not for the weak. I remember when I was in high school, I would often be at practices until 11 o'clock at night sometimes, especially if we were having the playthrough or dress rehearsals.
Yeah, getting down to the performance.
I don't think a lot of people realize how much work goes into that.
It's incredible.
Because it's a dedication.
You have to love
to
it.
the work.
You have to love it.
Otherwise, especially nowadays with short attention span theater going on, that you really have to focus and stay with it to make it work.
Oh yeah, but we all loved it. We loved it so much. Like we were a family, and when a show would end, we would all cry and hug each other.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
so
you get really tight.
Yeah, you did some theater growing up?
I did just in high school. I did theater, and
You get so tight in a show.
Intensive,
It doesn't matter where you did it. You have so much fun in a show.
Yeah, and I have some friends who now work in the film industry, and so I know their whole career is just like getting really close to people for a while, and then you move on, and then it's a different combination you're close to.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But what I would like to do like now, and what I've kind of planned, and I actually during COVID with Art Walk with Tiffany Taylor, we had this whole thing planned, and then COVID hit, but I was gonna sing and perform a set to go with a set of artworks, and I was so
With
excited.
Tiffany's?
That is so cool.
Huh?
With Tiffany?
No.
Oh, okay, I
she
thought-
did the art walk,
Okay.
and we had discussed
Okay.
it and everything, and gone through everything for it, and it was all planned. And then
Yeah.
like COVID hit, didn't happen. So, and I was gonna basically within. I was gonna show a new set of work, plan my music around the work, try to hit up 5 different languages, 5 different paintings, kind of have each song be with a different painting. And then I was going to paint something there live in a pretty dress and sing
Wow.
something, sing all 5 sets while I painted something live.
So,
Is there-
I mean, this sounds really cool. I'm just wondering. I
Yeah.
know you had an opening a few months ago at the Savannah Gallery of Art. Was that an option to do this then?
Oh, I could totally talk to them about it. I've not even.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
love
It
to
sounds
see
amazing.
that.
So multimedia.
Oh, I would. Oh man, and I love performing it. And
Okay, don't take it off the list. Let's just say that.
no,
all
I'm
right?
still doing. I'm still very much planning on doing
Okay,
it.
good.
I've just Savannah Gallery of Art last year. Well, yeah, last year now because it's a new year.
Yeah.
I got busy there. I'm so grateful for it.
They're at a great location. You might want to say where that is.
Oh yes, isn't it? Sorry, it's like East Bryan and Lincoln.
It's Lincoln and
Lincoln,
Bay,
yeah.
right near
Okay.
near Bay.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah, my brain is.
I don't know the address itself, but
It's
it's
across
on
the street
Lincoln.
from that dive bar Abe's.
Oh,
That's how people
yeah.
will know it.
Abe's
Okay.
is such a popular local
Yeah.
spot.
When did you start showing your work there?
I think 2 years ago, and I sold pretty well the first year, but then I got a bigger space, and then I started selling.
Okay.
And that kind of once I could get bigger pieces in there, because I do mostly sell bigger pieces.
Oh,
I
interesting.
sell some small pieces, but I mean, yeah, I'm not a big print person either. Because my stuff's so textured.
Oh.
It can, the metal prints actually, those can capture it pretty well for some reason. Have y'all seen those?
I've seen.
I know of them, but it's odd that you should say that. Because I understand why you say that, but
Yeah.
but with the texture on it, and you do a print, you just don't really get the whole, literally feel for.
Yeah, we haven't discussed that, but like I've been dealing with this Savannah like humidity, and I had a commission recently, and it took 4 or 5 months to dry.
Oh gosh.
Because it had paint, oil paint, you know.
Oh, I was going to say.
Not
Yeah.
acrylic, obviously, that would break. Oil paint sticking maybe a whole inch off the
Oh,
canvas
so
in
thick.
places. Oh yeah, and a lot of just layers of me going back on it, and
Yeah.
like I discussed with them, and we went back and forth, so changes were made too. So then like another layer was put on top of it, and
Oh my God.
but it's like it looked awesome, like melting wax everywhere by the end. It was gorgeous.
Sounds
and
crazy.
I loved it, and it.
I mean, the process sounds crazy.
Oh yeah, and it have to make sure it's in a room kind of toward the center of the house, not close to windows at all, so that it's like can dry, you know.
Oh,
Keep
wow.
away from the dogs.
What was the commission? Is it a landscape or a portrait or?
That's funny. It wasn't. It was a daffodil with a reflection in water, and the guy was from Transylvania, which was
Whoa.
pretty cool. Yeah, him and his wife have been very nice. They like my
Please
stuff.
tell
on-
me the
my
name
God.
was Vlad.
Oh my god, no.
Too bad.
I feel bad. I'm totally.
Is the
like-
decor in his house? Is any of it? Is
That's
it very
okay. You don't have to disclose.
vampire-y
your
at all?
Yeah,
customer
I don't
at
want
all.
to. I don't want to.
No, that's all right.
Please say the home looks like a vampire
But you only had to
castle.
deal with him at night. It was really strange.
Yo, I mean, like he was pretty. Him and his wife were really, really cool. It was. It was really cool to meet somebody from Transylvania and
Well,
have
yeah.
them like your work. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a crazy call from the gallery one day. They're just like, "Hey, this guy here's from Transylvania. Can you get down to the gallery? He really wants a commission from you." And I'm
But you
like,
couldn't get any pictures with him because, they don't show up. Never mind. I'm
Wait, did he
sorry.
live here, but he was from, or they were
no,
visiting?
he literally I had to ship
Oh,
it
so you had to
there.
mail it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. How much does it cost to mail a big painting to Transylvania?
You'd be surprised. It wasn't enormous, but it was oval.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
That's
so,
very old
So
timey.
the packaging was interesting.
Didn't we have them do it this time? I'm calling out to my husband who's sitting over.
I found a box.
Yeah.
You found the
My
box.
husband Dave,
Is that
everyone.
what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
He does my packaging
Yeah.
and he stretches canvases and he helps me deliver things and he also does all of my framing.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. Having a framer around it's incredible.
That's
Yeah.
What a resource.
He's a
That's it.
woodworker, so.
Yeah. Yes, you could work in odd dimensions. You don't have to do like standard dimensions.
That's
You can,
true.
you can do off things.
He's shaking his head.
Because you're just building the
No.
Yes, Dave, a star-shaped canvas would be really neat. Yeah.
He's like, we'll stick to the
Yeah.
squares and the rectangle.
Okay,
I've been
that's
really
not-
into
that's not
square
happening.
canvases.
I love squares too. Yeah, it's different. It's like hard to come up with a good composition that isn't too weird and static and symmetrical in a square. I think it's a good challenge.
I don't know. Lately, the squares have been calling to me. It's almost like when I see a rectangle. Sometimes it really works with it depends on what my inspiration photo is, honestly. Because
Sure.
sometimes it really works, but sometimes I'm like, this is screaming for a square.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
This might sound weird, but would it ever occur to you to do a series like with squares, for instance?
Like the Savannah ones.
Yeah,
Oh, those have been my best-selling paintings, no question.
but they're all the same size, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like
Right.
squares.
Right.
Of the squares. Yeah.
Right.
I sold
I'm
one last
giving
year.
you ideas.
No,
If
I love
you haven't
it.
done it yet. Then,
No,
and
I
know you've done a few, but
No, yeah. When I think about it, those have been my best-selling ones.
Yeah.
No question.
Very good.
People enjoy them. That Wormslow,
Yeah.
well, Wormslow's gorgeous.
Forsyth, of course, those are gonna go quickly.
Sure.
Do you take photos and then you work from photos usually?
Mm-hmm. But Forsyth, I have to say, the fountain itself is a source of endless inspiration. I think that everyone
Yeah.
has to agree. It's gorgeous at night with the lights.
Yeah. And just close up
Even
like the
with-
structures that the like men who make up the statues of the fountain are
Gorgeous.
so cool.
Even without water, sometimes, and especially at night,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really it's in many different ways. It's
I got a great photo from when we had that snowstorm in Savannah a few years ago, and it froze, and so it was just ice.
Stop
I have a
it.
cool photo of the fountain where it literally is just
Stop
solid
it.
ice coming out of it.
Did it like freeze kind of like that?
Yeah, it froze like literally it's in the air. It's wild.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's like frozen motion.
It was, yeah, crazy. I should paint that.
Or
You should.
you should paint it, and you should totally make prints of that because that's so rare.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
that
big
you
on
caught that.
For me, yeah, I'm kind of the opposite of you. For me, like I kind of live off of like selling prints and cards. I'm not selling
Gotcha.
tons of originals, so that's awesome.
Savannah Wintertime,
Yeah.
you could call it, or something.
I should probably make more if I'm being honest, and I should probably list paintings online. And
Do you?
stuff.
I'm curious about at Savannah Gallery of Art, if we can like get back to that a little bit. Is that so it's where people kind of you're renting a space per month and you like have your choice size wise of what's available or whatever, like a size of wall.
It's curated. So they'll have to like be like, oh, you'll work here in the space from what I know.
Okay.
So they have to like, not anyone can just pay and like get in.
Right.
To a certain place. Like, I think it's a bit easier to get into like the one. It's kind of cool. I'm in two different spaces in there because I have one spot that's like I put my smaller works and one spot I put my bigger works.
Okay.
And the one spot's pretty affordable. I can't remember exactly right now.
Do they not usually? And most people have like a bin in front of the wall with prints and things. Do you not?
I have that, yeah. And even the commission wall that's affordable has that for just the commission wall. So like Young Artists in Savannah, I would recommend reaching out to them for the commission wall.
What does the commission wall mean?
It's basically like, it was where I was the first year, and I think it's $100 like 3 times a year. No, 4 times a year. It's pretty affordable.
Okay.
It's not bad. And I think there's like a $50 like fee for you to but it's really not bad.
It's a really good entryway.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't, and I'll be honest, like it depends on what you sell. You know, you can have a nice medium-sized piece. There are a bunch of kind of smaller ones. And so right now I have kind of, I don't know, like 6 by 6 inches. Like I have kind of smaller ones there right now, and in the other wall space, that's where I have pretty large ones.
Your big things. Is this a gallery where you have to sit there and work as well? Okay.
No, but I do, and I think it's probably good for my mental health because with my illness and stuff, art's my source of income, and I did enjoy working and being around humans. And now I live out on the farm, and I love my little duck, Freddie Prinze Jr. so much.
Oh my gosh.
And all the doggies and all the chickens. But I need humans sometimes.
Yeah.
I forget when, but when you moved out there, and now you've got ducks, chickens, of course, Binky, and which I'm sorry.
Oh, we also there's also like a cat who's like wild, and we're trying to like get him tame, and his name's Gigi, and he lives on our porch.
Does he go
Really?
after the ducks and the chickens?
He does not hurt them.
I was going to say Binky would go after the cat.
No, not at
Really?
all. No.
I'm shocked.
Binky would never hurt anything. She's our pit. She's a pit basset
Yeah,
hound
but
mix.
she's curious.
She
and
would
she
not.
would,
She's
might scare a cat
scared.
that way.
She's scared of
Aw.
everything. That's why I named her Binky,
Yeah.
because she's literally a baby.
What town do you live in?
It's Pembroke.
Okay.
It is so cute out there.
So it's
Actually,
literally
no, it sucks.
it's
Don't go
countryside,
there.
like
Don't
it's-
live
Yeah,
there.
right.
Don't
It's
move
horrible.
there.
You'd hate it.
You
and
would hate
just
it.
Stay away.
It's an awful place.
Yeah. What is your workspace like? What's your work situation?
So it's pretty cool. Like we let the chickens free range whenever we can, and I can like watch them out of a little window, and I've got like a back bedroom that I just made into a studio. But it's kind of got a vibe like this place.
And you painted your inside of your house too.
Oh,
A
murals
lot.
everywhere,
Oh.
on the floor, on the walls.
On the
We
floor?
should get some pictures of that. Would you get some pictures?
Oh, that'd be
and
fun.
send-
Yeah.
Please.
It's crazy in there. I've got like 3 murals of different places in Europe that I've been to. And this is a crazy story. Dave's mom is from Edinburgh,
Right.
and we went to Edinburgh recently this past year. So I picked a random place to
That's
paint.
Scotland.
Oh yeah, I picked a random place to paint in the city, and I kid you not, we get back from our trip, and I'm like, honey, that place that I painted is where we had dinner the last night, and we went there like alone as a couple together on the last night,
Well,
like away from the family, like on a special date there, and I was just like,
nice.
it was a weird, like I believe in stuff like that, like
well,
yeah.
Scotland is don't get me started. Scotland is magic. So it's supposed to be that way.
It was a beautiful, like I've never felt so, I felt very connected to this place when I first came here as a young child, and I felt very connected to that place. And nowhere, well, I really like Austria too, but
Well,
yeah.
it makes sense for opera.
Yeah, it just, it's gorgeous there, man. Oh, just the mountains and rivers. It's just so
Well,
beautiful.
certain places connect
Oh.
with certain people, and
Oh, yeah.
you found yours, and there's some others I'm sure you still have yet to find, but
Yeah.
Savannah is definitely one for you because you've been here.
Oh, and anyone who
decided to
lives in this
stay.
area should check out the springs, like in Florida. Like, oh my gosh, they are gorgeous. Have y'all ever been?
Oh, you mean down by Gainesville? And
Well, I went to Ginnie Springs recently.
okay,
Oh my gosh, it's like incredible.
it's very clear and just Yeah.
What is that like? I don't know anything about it.
It's like so incredible, right? You get like, I had little, like, I wasn't scuba diving. I had little, what are the little, snorkel. Yeah. And eventually I got used to it. At first it was a little weird, but I got used to it. And then I just look, and there's crystal clear water with these little ocean looking fishies coming out from this cave. And it's just crystal clear with like rocks, and it's blue. It's the same temperature all year round. It's by this mucky, dirty river, but that water doesn't get in. It's like really gorgeous.
I've never heard of it. I'll look it up.
Oh no, really?
Wow, it's amazing.
Oh gosh.
I would tell anyone to check it out.
Wow.
It's so pretty.
It's called Ginnie Springs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So gorgeous.
Well, it's around. I have a good friend in High Springs nearby too, in Gainesville area over there on the underneath the Panhandle on the east
We should
side.
take a day trip sometime.
It's worthwhile.
That sounds cool.
We should all just go, like in the summer.
Where I'm from, in Albany, Georgia, as a child, there's this place called Radium Springs in town. But
I looked that
sounds
up.
my memory is
appealing.
that you're not actually supposed to go and be in the water because you're just floating in like
I looked it up.
radioactivity or something.
I looked it up.
Okay.
I have this obsession with springs.
So you probably know more about this.
No,
'cause
it's a real spring.
It's just my childhood memory.
Isn't this where
No, it's a real spring.
FDR, Franklin Roosevelt, used to go for his?
Yes. I read this whole thing about it. There was like a little White House there.
Right.
Yeah. So is it like a radioactive kind of
No,
water?
it's not.
It's just an unfortunate title.
They haven't kept it clean enough for people to swim there recently, but
Okay. Because I remember as a kid we did go there and swim, but as I got older I was like, was this okay?
Yeah. Was this safe?
Why
it's
is it
so
called
random
that?
that the three of us know about that. Like, because I'm not even from this state originally. I'm from North
Yeah.
Carolina originally. And I'm just like, oh, I know about that.
Yeah, that's cool. But that's the only springs I knew about. I didn't know about these ones in Florida. That sounds great.
I knew about it because I liked radiation. That's the only reason.
Yeah, exactly.
We all have our reasons. I like springs. So there's like a Venn diagram of where our interests
Yes.
Exactly.
In the center.
She lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radiation springs.
Yeah.
Wow. I kind of wanted to. We were just starting to get to this, but what brought you to Savannah? Was it going to SCAD? No.
Well, kind of. When I was little, my mom came here with my dad, and it wasn't in the same state. SCAD actually did help a lot. For anybody local who doesn't like it, like it brought in a lot of people. People can say whatever they want, and I know that there have been some like things that have set people off, and I get that. But at the same time, my parents visited this place in the 80s, and it was not what it is now. It was so many buildings were falling apart.
Right.
Yeah.
And my parents were just obsessed with it because they were like, why are these buildings not being taken care of?
Right.
Because we like love historical buildings. My mom was like part of like the historical society, and like I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We did have a very good theater there, and my church was nice to me growing up. So, but I don't know, like, and then she raised me, and I would write stories of like falling in love with like a ghost in a Victorian house. I was obsessed with history in general. And my husband was a history major, like.
Fayetteville has some Victorian buildings.
It does,
right?
actually.
Like
Not
cute
everything
downtown?
was burned there, surprisingly. But yeah, so, and then she took me here when I was like maybe in middle school, and I just like was amazed. I just thought it was incredible. I was like, there are houses like those cool houses, but they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And and the big trees. I just thought and I love ghost stories.
Yeah.
You just felt
So
it.
just all of it.
Yeah, the vibe.
Yeah,
I
right.
still do. I think that the locals are very kind people.
Oh, yeah.
I know that they want to be respected and not, felt like they're pushed out of situations. I understand that. And I have a lot of local friends, and there's issues with that, and I hope that everyone can work together. And, of course, we always wish for peace, but every local person I've met, doesn't really matter on their socioeconomic situation growing up. They
Right.
have all been kind of like just, I don't know, like open-minded, artsy type people here in this city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
like
it's always
them.
been like a city that embraced kind of eccentricity.
Yes.
Was its thing. Right?
Yes.
Very well said.
Yes.
Thank you.
100%.
That's why Midnight in the Garden of Gineville was so cool. All the weird characters.
Never read it.
Wow, it's a great novel.
I made sure not to read it or see the movie until after I moved here because I didn't want to be influenced. But
maybe that's why
Turned
I
out
still
it was-
haven't.
Turned out after it was like, that it pretty much caught it.
The
That
book is
was-
great.
Ah,
I really
okay.
recommend it.
I painted that little statue a couple times. People love that
The
too.
Bird Girl.
That is
They
one
love
of my
the
biggest
bird-
sellers.
Love
is
They
bird
love the
girl.
bird girl. all this stuff, there's nothing wrong. Like, we all know it as local artists. It's just like, I think that it's important to keep your passion projects close too, though. Like, I do weird art on my own, abstract stuff. Maybe I share it on Instagram. And you know what? People tell me, like, why don't you keep it clean? Like, only do your really, like, nice paintings. And I'm like, no, because, like, I want to share things that are fun, that are different, that I'm experimenting with. Like, I want to share myself, like, stop telling me how to live.
Why would you not want to share that?
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, like, if I do, like, my sketches, like, like, my last interview, I was more known in town for painting girls, because every day, I still do it, by the way, I draw a girl who's basically an embodiment of how I'm feeling that day. Oh. Or a character that I
just like a little sketchy sketch.
Cool. Yeah, well, they used to be paintings, and they've become sketchy sketches. And I'm starting to paint my sketchbooks too. That's fun, So, like, it's just kind of like, you can still do what you love, and you can do something else to make yourself some money. And it's not like I don't actually love impressionistic oil paintings. I used to read books of the old masters in Barnes and Noble, like, growing up, like, every day, so it's not like I don't love what I'm getting money doing either. It's,
well, that's pursuing what you love. So that's finding out, beyond what anybody can teach you, there might be something there that would appeal to you to learn from as well.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, I think that there can be a separation of trying to, like, explore what is the pinnacle of what my art can be, which I'm always looking for me personally. I don't know. Like, it's like, I don't want to, like, be stagnant. I want to grow. I want to get better, like, in whatever that means for me.
I'm biased. I know you somewhat, let's say. And you're open to new ideas, and you want to explore new ideas, which is what an artist does. So that's why should you not let that be shown as well? That is what it is all about. I'm not a huge fan of Picasso's later work in his life, but I'll tell you what, he inspires me a lot. He inspires me because he could do the basics, and then people would ridicule him for abstracting those forms. And it's like, he got bored with doing the same thing over and over again. He went through 5 different periods. If you want to regulate it that way, that's one way to do it. That's fine. But it's not even...
I'm not that organized with it.
Right.
No, right. But I'm saying he does inspire me in a way where it's like, eventually he did get respect.
Not the work so much inspired you, but his
attitude toward art making. Right. Like, basically, like,
his approach.
Like, I mastered these basic concepts, and now I can push through.
Right.
And whatever pushing through looks
or even
like,
mix and match. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, maybe you do something that you've never done before. If I can't say that no one has ever done before, because that's tough.
It's hard. Yeah.
That's really hard. But it's something that you want to explore, and that's what it's about.
I'm exploring right now with this middle phase of my art. Like, so lately I have this new thing where a lot of artists will, like, do, like, red or orange in the background, and then, like, build up from there. I used to paint over old paintings that had a bunch of drips and colors because I didn't have the money to buy new canvases.
Right.
So I learned that that's what makes the best paintings, actually, is, like, very thick, drippy, lots of colors behind, and then you build from there. So I will do a literal abstract painting before I do anything, and then I build from there. And I've done that now for a long time.
Oh, like under your landscapes or houses, there's an abstract painting?
Yeah, just a whole abstract painting.
Do you show a lot of your process on your media? Mm-hmm. Because that's worthwhile looking into.
Yeah. And I totally don't gatekeep. The only thing I would ask is, like, if somebody watches my whole art making process, like, don't, like, copy every part of it, like take elements, like, take some of those ideas, because, like, I go on, then I often will take black ink or pen and I'll do a drawing, and then from there I'll add oil paint on top of that. So I show every single part of it. Like, anyone could do it, honestly.
So you have, like, an abstract painting, and then you're, like, drawing the outline of whatever you're gonna...
Getting all of my values out, and sometimes I'll do it with even Sharpie, and that people like that, the way it looks, the messiness, they enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll just do this Sharpie drawing, and I blur my eyes, and I just get all the all the values. And then I blur my eyes a lot when I paint to kind of just think big picture, and I move in a constant circle, you know. Like it's for again, young artists, they'll often just stay in like one little part and like work. Any of us who have worked a long time, we know to work in a circle. We know to constantly check all over, but
not too tight.
Yeah, but I really take that to a big approach. Like I'm constantly like, I don't even stay with one color for a bit. I'm always blurring, taking pictures, looking at the small version, just like going back. Like it's a lot of very fast.
How do you, motions. So when you're like looking at a photo you've taken and then you're like doing the drawing on your canvas, but it's with a Sharpie, how are you not like just making how are you not like making mistakes all over? Because it's not like you can erase like with a pencil or charcoal or something where you can adjust it. I just imagine like a mass of Sharpie lines everywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes not.
I had this person that I didn't like one time really ridicule me for telling a young child that there's like never a mistake whenever they're drawing. And I stick to what I say. There's never a mistake. There are no mistakes.
Why would somebody, never mind.
This person really ridiculed me for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would you say there's happy accidents?
It wasn't me, was it? I didn't tell you that.
Oh my God, no,
Okay,
no, some meanie from my past too.
Well, again, like I say, it wasn't me, was it?
I was going to ask you, so how old were you when you moved to Savannah?
Oh, I was sorry.
You were sorry to move to Savannah?
No. You're silly. Those were some crazy years because I was like, I graduated from college and then I was really sick for like 2 years. So
I was still from the Lyme disease.
Yeah, I had to get intravenous antibiotics, like and oral antibiotics at the same time, and then that messed up my gallbladder, so I had to have that removed.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was like home with mom for a bit through that. I'm trying to think. It was maybe like, I was maybe around 23.
Okay.
And I was lost. I was in a very bad place. I'm in a much better place now. Just everything, like spiritually, mentally, physically.
Yeah.
Like I was drinking too much. To anyone who ever has been there, that can be fixed, that can stop. Some good advice somebody once told me that kind of stuck with me is like, when I was like, I don't know, like if I can ever stop. They're like, one day you might not want to as much. You might be surprised. You might just not want to. And that's what I would say for somebody who's really seeing like, oh, I'll never wake up not wanting it. You might be surprised. You might see that it's not adding to your life in any way.
Yeah.
That there are better things you can do, even just drinking a bunch of coffee.
Were you like working in the restaurant bar industry?
Yes, and so many people in the restaurant and bar industry have issues with that.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to them. They go out and spend their money after. I did it all the time, you know.
Yeah, you get off work and you're keyed up and you have to go out. You can't just like go right home.
And it's a frustrating job because I've worked other jobs and I still have nightmares about it. So like, you know, I have these nightmares that I'm getting like quadruple sat.
Yeah.
And
yes, you still have server nightmares for literally decades.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes. Like people don't realize how hard, and they really need to be nicer to these people.
I know.
It's hard. It's so hard. People are so mean to them, and they're like not ready for that. They're like just trying to live their lives, and people are barking at them. Yeah, like we had some rushes with some mean people sometimes.
Yeah. Did you know anybody in town when you first moved here, or did you get here?
No, I was all alone.
Friends?
So like
Okay.
It was really the restaurant people for me, and like literally the bar close to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's kind of a lot like the theater industry where you like become really tight and you're
Yeah.
working really hard together. You do become like a family.
100%. Like, and those people were always really good to me too. It's just like,
Yeah.
I always want to give hope that like it can get better if you start. I've been sober from alcohol for like 10 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm about to be 35. So life is better, because like it's like you can take like a CBD gummy and like not lose your damn mind. You know, like
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
That's okay.
You can take a CBD gummy and not make terrible decisions. You know, that will hurt your family. That
Yeah.
will, you know, things like that. You know, of course, be careful. Don't go out and drive a bunch and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is like, you know, it was really hard for me when I first moved here, you know, and there can be a bit of a culture with drinking here too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like to give hope to people who need to stop.
In a place where you can walk around with a drink in your hand, you think there's a drinking culture here? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like propagated really by
and
everyone.
art helps, like art, any type of art that people are interested in, like anything that you can do with your hands or like do to be creative, or if art's not your thing, a hobby.
Yeah, but you got into where we met was the art ambassadorship for Starland, and when they had like what they call those, when they had their art walks and all, and you would set up and greet people and let them know, give them information if they needed it and all that jazz. But that was a good art community to be involved in, to learn about the place. And it was
I met you there, yeah.
It was also getting away from the bar scene and all that so much.
This was that thing years ago when Starlin would do his open art walks. Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah, no, I met you like
Thank you, Clinton, again.
Yeah, 100%. I met a lot of different artists actually through all of that and working there. It was cool. It was really, really neat meeting different people and then meeting you, and then once I met you, I got to meet a lot of other artists.
That's what I mean. There are so many artists here.
Yeah.
That's the real plus of it.
And they're nice. Like they don't bite. Like I always tell people to reach out.
Everybody's like getting along, and that's really very helpful to anybody who's just trying to live as an artist, to know that you have a community there.
100%. Like going into something, speaking of like mental health and stuff, going into something that makes you feel proud of yourself, going into something that makes you feel fulfilled. Like if I can just if I'm having a bad day or upset about something, like I can just get myself up, go and like cook, clean, work out, be productive, and then paint something. And especially days where I get a painting done, I feel so good about myself. I think we all do as artists. But,
sure. If you're sure it's done. That's always the trick, isn't it?
Yeah, I try to not go back, but sometimes months later I do. I'm like, oh wait.
We all do. That's okay.
I'm like, hold on.
We all do that sometimes. Really.
How did you end up starting to go to SCAD?
Oh, that's a funny story. So in my in high school, I was okay, my art teacher was awesome, and she knew that I had talent, so she just I was a little irresponsible, so she would just put myself into shows, and I was like, thank you, and I would win things, and then I got a bunch of scholarships, and SCAD actually gave me a full ride in my undergrad. Wow. And I did not go because I wanted to be an opera singer.
What was the curriculum that you got a scholarship for? What I don't even know the word for that. The focus.
Oh, they didn't care.
Really?
They said I could do whatever I wanted.
Just to go for your bachelor's.
Yeah. Masters, I chose illustration because I wanted to do character design after I did my undergrad. But yeah, no, they just, I can't remember. I think they just wanted me.
They just said, hey, you can come here and do anything you want.
Yeah, I won a lot of art awards. They just kind of wanted me.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. And I got a really good grade on my AP art exam.
Yeah. Okay. But you chose to go to that school in North Carolina because of the opera.
I did, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world, man. Yeah. They were so sweet. I traveled the world with my we had a choir, and we were so tight.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, we went everywhere.
Is that when you went to Austria? Let's do that?
No, we went to South Africa though.
Oh wow.
That was pretty cool. I went to Austria to study Lieder. I'm actually pretty good at pronouncing German. It's not that I know. It's not that I know the language. It's just it's diction. I can pronounce it.
It sounds related to voice training.
Yeah. You have to study diction and all these different things. But when I studied diction, my diction professor was like, "Oh, you're really good at German," and my other teachers noticed too. So I went to study over there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So the SCAD, so you'd gotten this full ride to SCAD, but you went somewhere else for undergrad, and then at some point you decided you wanted to go for master's.
Yeah, and pay a lot of money.
So you couldn't reapply for that scholarship thing.
No,
it's a whole different track for master's, right?
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah. So you went for illustration. How did you find the illustration program?
Oh, awesome. Honestly, I was in a very bad place mentally, like I said before, and they were really understanding. I was also very sick still. Basically, they told me that my neurological pain and the stabby pains and my migraines and stuff could get better or not, and they just never did. Like I thought maybe they would. Even years later when I stopped drinking, I thought maybe I blamed myself, thinking maybe that was contributing. No, it just doesn't go away.
Wow.
Yeah, like no matter what, it's just there. So it's, it is what it is. But I was still struggling with that very, very much, and when I drank, it didn't hurt. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, it was mostly about pain relief, if
Yeah,
I'm being
for
honest.
sure.
Because there's very few things that can fight neurological pain. So I was like, but they were really understanding. And I remember I had one professor named like Daniel Powers. He was really sweet. I had him quite a few times. And there was another kind of younger guy. His class was so great. This was about, it was just about different mediums. Best class I've ever taken in my life.
Cool.
Found out that I am a big fan of egg tempera, which I will be getting into soon because I have chickens.
That's so funny. Oh my
so
gosh.
well.
You want to mess around with egg tempera some, Sim?
I mean, why not?
Right?
Really? I'm
These
up for
beautiful
anything,
translucent layers.
It'll be very Renaissance-y.
I love it.
Is that a word?
Wow,
What-
yeah.
What years were you at SCAD?
I guess it would have been around, let me think. I graduated from college in 2011, 12. I'm very bad at numbers. Like maybe around 2013
over a week ago?
or 14.
Oh, okay. I was in the illustration department between 05 and 08, so we did not overlap.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How did you like it there?
I really enjoyed it. At the time, I wasn't completely committed to when I graduated. I was going to be doing commercial work, but I guess I preferred illustration to painting because I was just working small. So kind of that's what I was thinking of it with, and I liked the idea of just being kind of a business and making products out of it.
I like that.
So when I graduated, I kind of never ended up doing the traditional illustration thing where you're doing commission work. I just am a fine artist and just paint whatever and sell it. But I did, kind of go down that track of making products and things. So that's kind of what I took from it.
You became an entrepreneur, and that's a good, it's you are still selling little products, but you're doing it on your own, and you're making all the profit.
Yeah, I love making it.
And you're doing good work.
Yeah.
So people like it.
Yeah.
So that must be.
I love making the prints and cart. You're still just working with your hands, and I feel like a little one-person assembly line, and I really like that.
Aw, that's so cute. I feel like an assembly line too. I actually literally describe my studio as that because I always have 5 paintings going on at a time in different stages, and it's all very planned. One layer dries, then I do this. Then
I like juggling them too, because then if you finish a batch of them, you're like, oh my god, I finished 3.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
cool. It's a good feeling, and it's and some of them take me now they're I used to do this thing where I would do a lot of paintings. Now I'm just taking a long time on my paintings.
Yeah, it's not because you work in oil and it's thick, so that it's a lot of time.
And I'm putting bigger prices on
a
them.
lot of downtime with each painting. I guess we're just sitting.
It's if I'm going to make most of my money with originals, they need to be kind of bigger, pricier. Often I need to put my energy into them. They need to be something that I'm considering a fine, big old grand work of art.
Right.
Because that's what people are expecting for a certain price tag.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And I'm not making, I don't know, it's funny because I didn't start it off this way. I used to just do paintings really fast, but at one point when I was in that gallery, I really wanted to make impressive, what I considered to be impressive work. So I ended up taking months on things, and I would work on it almost every day. And this one painting, I realized that it took me 3 months, and I worked on it almost every day.
Wow.
So I was like, okay,
Wow.
It's hard to ever price anything for it. It's like a quilt where you literally can't price it appropriately for the amount of work that goes into it.
But I do, and I hope that people understand. I think it's totally reasonable, but
if they knew and they understood all that,
But people, how people will be. But sometimes I'll one off in one night something that I really like, but I will do it for less. I won't do it for quite as much. There's no way I could and feel good about it. You know what I mean? I just.
Did you? Oh, so sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Did you end up doing character design when you were in school, like you imagined, or did you just go in a whole different direction?
No, they. That's a funny story. I tried to do oil painting as an illustration major.
Oh, yeah.
And that's dumb.
You just the assignment it's just such fast turnaround. You have to just do quick. Yeah.
I never could get anything done. It was really bad for me.
Yeah.
Unless they forced me to do a different medium, which often I could complete those projects. But
right.
I remember there was one drawing class that it was my last, I had to stop, because I did not do well. And yeah, it was like basically like I had free reign, and that was a bad decision to give me because I was like, oil, great, because oil's always been my favorite medium. And it was that project where you had to do like the 7 deadly sins, and like everyone does that. It's like a very basic, it was a basic drawing class in grad school, so I've seen a lot of people do this project, but we had to do them pretty quickly, and they were rough, man.
I didn't finish. Are you talking about all 7 on one surface?
No,
or
different surfaces.
You got to pick different ones?
7 different paintings.
Canvases.
7 different paintings.
Yeah, and I was like...
You did this too?
No, I have an undergrad degree in illustration.
Okay.
I think that this class was technically like... I think undergrads could take it too, though. It was like a very basic one. I've just seen a lot of people do this project.
Yeah.
It was... Dude, it was funny.
So you just ended up with 7 bad half-finished paintings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could have just left the 7th one blank and say it was sloth.
That's real creative. I like that.
I'm a problem solver.
Yeah, they were, man, when I think about how bad they were.
Was that critique just the most painful thing?
No.
Did you have a worse critique than that one? I had some definitely really painful critiques.
Yeah, my painting class, those were not great because I was doing illustrations and they hated that.
So you're doing illustrations in your painting classes
Yeah.
and paintings in your illustration classes?
Yeah.
So is this critique from the teachers or from the other students or both, or how does this work? I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't, so it was hit or miss with me. Like some classes I did really, really well in, and some I did not. It was really funny. This one drawing class I did not, and the painting class I would say not so great. But then like the one where I had, the ones where the teacher just kind of let me do whatever often kind of did go well, but they controlled the medium, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that one class was so great. Like I really enjoyed that one. I found out, pastels are cool too. Those are great. Never went back to them, but love them. They're pretty. And I'm not even talking about oil pastels. I'm talking about the
chalk
soft
pastels?
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Well, that seems really similar to oil painting to me.
Yeah,
which
I like
I don't have affinity for either of them. So we kind of are into like complete opposite
Gotcha.
materials. Yeah.
You don't want to get all messy.
I like oil
It's just
pastels.
they get too like grayed out. Like I mess them too much, and then there's not any like pure color in them because they just
Palette
merge
knife.
together. Oh, okay.
Palette knife.
Yeah.
That will fix it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about too. You're using a palette knife sometimes, right?
Yep. And I had a problem with, my teacher told me that often my colors looked muddy.
Like muddled. Yeah, muddy.
But I
That's what
liked
happened to me.
that.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I really literally loved that as a kid. I was into
I remember this.
I was into the more moody kind of thing. That being said, some muddiness is fine, but you do need some pure color here and there. You can't just let it all get muddy. Palette knife.
Yeah.
You clean the palette knife off every time, and then you just beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
And then it's clean color every time. Palette knife is awesome.
I think, and with chalk pastels too, it's like you're not supposed to really touch it with your hands because the oil gets all weird.
Yeah.
And that makes it muddy and wet look. I don't know.
I
was a mess. I was like Pigpen, working with pastels.
Oh, I'm a mess too, and I literally finger paint with oils too. If I get to a point where I'm just like, and then I'll like start. But it's like, paintbrushes don't work for oil. Like, you gotta clean it too much. It's like my finger will work, random sticks will work.
Yeah.
Spatulas, palette knives.
The end of the brush, like the wooden end.
Yes.
Yeah.
That all works, but the brushes themselves is a no for me. Unless you're doing that smooth painting, and I don't like how that
Yours
looks.
is real different from that.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's boring for me.
We're kind of, David, we're kind of coming to maybe the end-ish. Do you have any final things?
How can we talk you into letting us hear a snippet of opera?
Oh, I can do that.
And how shall we frame it?
I think I have to step back from the phone though.
Okay.
It's very fun to sing live for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't forgo the opportunity.
I didn't know if you needed to do like voice, like
No.
like working up to it or something.
I don't.
No, she's...
Okay. You could tell us what you're going to sing, and then, as you said, if you need to step back because of
Right.
your power.
You're funny, and also Also, I want you to know that the only thought that goes through my head whenever I sing things is, will my voice teacher hear this from college?
I'm gonna send it to her.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna send them a link.
Dr. Martin, I haven't looked at these words for a bit. I'm like literally thinking that I would be better at the German one than at the French one. The German one's moody.
This is a snippet of Habanera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Carmen.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I got
Thank you
chills.
very much.
Aww.
Wow, that's incredible.
I messed up on the words like 3 times. Thank you so much.
Exclusively.
Wow, I
here.
can't believe you could do that without.
Sorry
warm-up.
to any French people. I am.
Oh my gosh.
I am truly sorry.
But that's
No,
wild
no,
that you don't
please.
even have to warm up to like do the highlights. It's wild.
I need to go over the words
That was,
again.
No, that was
so
that was
cool.
great off the cuff.
Very
That's
cool.
the way it should be. It's spontaneous. It's fresh. It's exciting.
What an incredible ending.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I
Thank you.
Thank you.
hope I didn't accidentally say anything offensive.
I love that. Thank you so much for talking to us. It was fascinating.
Oh, I appreciate it. It was really fun talking
Yeah.
to you guys.
And we
Thank
will
you,
include,
Chloe.
so we'll include, links to your social media and your website, and then
Oh yeah, I'm on Instagram the most. Yeah, if you want a commission or something, like go to Instagram and just
Right.
message at Logan Artisan Art.
There you go.
there you go. And people can view your
That's
pieces
the hard sell.
in
right
person
there.
at Savannah Gallery of Art. Well, thank you. This has been Arts on the Air with Tamara and David, and we have been talking to Logan Artisan. Thank you again.
Y'all have a good one.
Enjoy.